Hello everyone, this is Jeff from Hometown Treasures. I'm going to do a different design today. I haven't done either. This one is called Cedar. And it's kind of like a pear shape, a little fatter. And as you can see, it's got some varying facets on it here. And the top is checkered. So, should be fun, should be interesting. I think it's got like about 80, somewhere around 80 facets. And it does have a lot of angle changes. So just be ready for a lot of changing around. It's going to take time to do. Anything with all these angle changes takes a lot of time, but that's okay. We'll just go at it a little at a time. And what we're going to use is, I've got a big piece of Citrine. I bought this at a small local rock show for $2. They've got those little cups out there where they've got tumbled stones, usually citrine, sometimes smoky quartz, sometimes regular quartz. And once in a while I can find one in there that actually looks pretty good. So this one's not the greatest color, but it's not bad. And it's a good size, so it should be fun. Let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is what? Well, here we go. There's the first thing we're going to do right here. At 42 degrees, I got to cut to a center point. Looks like we're going to cut all the way around. What do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 16 facets all the way around we're going to cut. So let's get to it. Well, I've got the stone roughed out, but they don't, a lot of these drawings, depictions, will not give you just exactly how to get the shape of your stone. So what I did was the length of my stone was going to be determined by how much width that I had. So I went to number 5 first, which was the 24 and 72 on the sides, and I cut those first. So what you do is you'll cut it down to where it meets the 24 and 72 coming off the culet facets. So I did that first at 24.72. Then I jumped to the next step, 6, and did those two on both sides and matched them up. Then I continued forward to get to the point, and then I came back and did the back of the stone, and that gives you the shape. So what we're talking about then is, if I can see this, is your 24 and 72. I cut those first, and I tied them in to this facet. And then I went forward, and I cut the next one on the side to come up to the edge of the 72 facet. I had to cut it in far enough until I had enough height left after I do the pavilion to do the crown. So at that point I moved forward on both sides and did that also. And you cut the next facet till it meets the point of the last facet. And you continue on to I continued on to the nose, and then I worked backwards to get the butt end of it. And that's what gives you the shape of the stone. Needs a little more refining yet. I'm going to go back and hit 600 here, and then I'm going to jump to a 1200 plate and go over that 1200, and then go over my girdle facets with 1200 and go from there. But that is what's going to give you the shape, is by cutting your next facet up to the point of your last. And that gives you your kind of a teardrop shape. So I belong to polishing on the pavilion. I've got the mains done, kind of hard to see here, and I've worked on those little culet facets. There's 6 of them there emanating from the point on the culet. So we've got the mains done here. I polished all those. Then I jumped down to here and I did these ones on the culet. And I'm going to go back and do the varying facets. Okay, so what that means is we've got these mains done here, all these mains, And then I did these little culet facets. They emanate from the center and work their way out almost to the very end facets. So now we're going to polish these along the edge. And when I get those done, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the girdle line. And I'll just put it at 89.5, and I'll polish just a little bit of that all the way around. So that's what straightens out your facets. You cut these facets in, and you will not have a straight girdle line. It's going to go dip way down like this. It'll kind of mimic this right here. So these burying facets at that angle, what it does is straighten out your line. So let's continue polishing, and then when we get done with that, we'll glue it up for transfer. You ready to get going, Riley? I think so. Okay, let's do it. Alright, we have our gemstone. This is our Citrine. Off the transfer block. And if you remember, what we're working on here is one called Cedar. We have the pavilion all done, and now we're going to start the crown. I haven't done this one before, and I'm kind of partial to these checkerboard designs. They're kind of neat when you look at them, so hopefully I left enough room for my crown. I think I did. It's a pretty flat crown. We're going to put it in our quill, line it up on one of the facets, and then we'll get started. Well, we leveled out the girdle as best we could, sort of, and went through all those angle changes and leveled out the girdle here. Tippy's trying to help. She's an apprentice kitty. Okay. So we've got the girdle leveled out, and we've got all these facets around the edge done. And what I'm starting now is I'm starting these rows in the middle, working on this one here, and we're cutting this one until it comes back and it meets the corner of that one there. And what that's going to look like is this. See, we've got these facets cut all the way around here. That's our first set. I'm working on the first of the center section here, and we're going to cut this facet all the way down until it meets the corner of these facets here. I've got a little ways to go yet, and we'll continue on and cut the rest of the ones down the center, and that will give us our kind of checkerboard look on the top. So we'll have that checkerboard look then. I'm using an 800 grit plate now that's pretty well worn. I'm cutting this stuff down with that, and we'll see where we're at there. I'm going to continue on. Yep, we will, Tippy. Cutting these facets. So, are you going to help? She doesn't have the patience Riley does, but she wants to learn. So, we'll teach her if she wants to learn. Well, let's get back at it. Alright, we've got these two facets cut, and we're going to start on J. Actually, I've started them already. It's a very, very steep angle. We're bringing it all the way down to 6.14, and we're going to cut this bulk of the stone off and bring it down until it meets this corner on C. And we'll do that on both sides. What that's going to look like if I can get that focused. Hard to see that, but we're bringing this one down. I'm going to see if we can clean that up a little bit. There we go. We're cutting on this one, and it's going to grow larger and larger, and it's going to come closer and closer till it meets the line of this facet right there. So these two will be matched up. And then we'll do that to the other side. Well, we've got our gemstone done. It's called Cedar. It was made for quartz, the RI of 1.54, and it was a stone that took a little bit of work. There's a lot of changing of angles and quite a bit of use of the cheater. You do two facets and change, and it takes quite a while to do that. We did get it done. Here it is. Let's see. Flip it over. Clean it up before we put it on the turntable. But it's kind of a pear shape. Turned out pretty nice. What do you think, Riley? Is it alright? We measured it at 17 by 22 millimeters, and we're going to turn on the scale and see what we have for weight. Let's see. Set that on there. 28.6. I mean 26.8. Read that backwards. 26.8 carats.